We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some news regarding the former WWE champion Bobby Lashley, and it fittingly has to do with Bobby Lashley's opinion of the WWE championship right now, which is now in the hands of the unified WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. And by all means, it appears as though Bobby Lashley is not that big of a fan of the whole title unification storyline in WWE, and feels that there does need to be a world championship on the Raw brand, if the brand split is not going to be officially ending. Here's what Bobby Lashley had to say in a recent interview with WWE's The Bump. Quote, "We need a title on Raw. We need that world title at Raw. Right now, Roman's on top of this world. I'd like to get on that level. He can look at bringing that title back over to Raw and giving me an opportunity to challenge for that. That's another really great matchup." While some fans are happy about Roman Reigns unifying the WWE and Universal Championships following WrestleMania 38, with these fans basically feeling like it has elevated Roman Reigns' status in WWE to completely new heights. With Reigns' main focus being Friday Night SmackDown, it leaves Monday Night Raw without an active world champion. And while the show can get by on some of the other storylines going on right now, like Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, or the whole angle between Kevin Owens and Ezekiel, at some point a world championship is likely needed on the Raw brand, and lots will likely agree with Bobby Lashley that the WWE title needs to return to Monday Night Raw in the near future. Though Bobby Lashley is currently in a feud with MVP and Omos, it cannot be denied that Bobby Lashley deserves another run at the top, and perhaps Lashley is a superstar WWE are planning to eventually bring one of the world titles, likely the WWE Championship, back to Raw. This may signal that WWE are soon planning for Roman Reigns' undisputed WWE Universal title reign to come to an end and have that WWE Championship return to its rightful show, Monday Night Raw. And while this certainly would tone down Roman Reigns' dominance in WWE, and he may not be quite the same as before, it would allow things to sort of get back to normal and have one world champion on each main roster show, which again does seem to make sense if the brand split isn't officially ending. In your opinion, do you feel that Bobby Lashley would be the best choice to win that WWE Championship from Roman Reigns and bring the title back over to Raw, or should it be another superstar? A lot of fans are firmly behind Cody Rhodes right now, so perhaps some of you feel Cody Rhodes deserves to finally get his hands on the WWE Championship for the first time and be the superstar to win the title back for Raw from the Tribal Chief. Regardless, Roman Reigns' dominance with the Usos as the unified world and tag team champions may be coming to an end soon, and clearly Bobby Lashley is anxiously waiting for that day and desires to once again challenge for a world championship. Also, on a bit of a side note, what are your thoughts on the whole Omos and Bobby Lashley feud that's currently happening on Monday Night Raw as we speak? Do you like this storyline or feel that it should be ending soon, and Bobby Lashley should once again return to world title contention? Or should it be Omos with MVP that rises to that top title scene? Let us know. Now, Madcap Moss has been written off of WWE television following an attack from Happy Corbin on Friday Night SmackDown a couple of weeks ago, and WWE later revealed that because of the injury sustained, Madcap Moss will be effectively out of action from WWE indefinitely. As many of you are likely aware, this is just a storyline injury and Madcap Moss isn't actually out of action indefinitely, and just recently while appearing on WWE's The Bump podcast, Happy Corbin talked a bit about his former friend Madcap Moss, and here's what Corbin had to say, quote, "Don't think we're done. I don't think he has learned his lesson. Hopefully he has. I'd love for him to come back and apologize, crawl on his knees, grovel, ask for my forgiveness, ask to come back home. I don't know if I'd take him back after the disrespect I've seen and the money I've spent on him." Now it is likely that Madcap Moss is on his way back to WWE soon to seek revenge on Happy Corbin, and Madcap may just be getting another win over Corbin in the near future. With it clear, WWE do see potential in Madcap Moss, who has been pretty entertaining on the blue brand lately. When CM Punk was working for WWE, there was always this notion that CM Punk was a difficult superstar to work with, especially towards the end of his run there, and there may now be some backstage heat on CM Punk in AEW. During AEW Dynamite last night, there was an intense segment between CM Punk and the AEW World Champion Hangman Page to hype up their match at Double or Nothing this weekend, and while CM Punk basically talked about respecting his opponent Hangman Page, Page went at CM Punk in a completely different way. And one quote that stuck out to a lot of wrestling fans was when Hangman Page stated that he's not only defending the AEW championship from CM Punk, but the entirety of AEW altogether. And that basically CM Punk's whole friendly demeanor that he portrays on television since joining AEW may not be real or genuine. This statement from Hangman Page has led some fans to believe that there could be some legitimate backstage heat on CM Punk in AEW, and given his reputation from WWE, it would really not be that far-fetched. Although we should definitely note that this may simply be leading to CM Punk's heel turn in AEW, and that it doesn't necessarily mean that there is any backstage heat on CM Punk, although this definitely does work in AEW's favor to add some hype to the storyline that there may be some real heat on Punk, because again with CM Punk's track record, it is not far-fetched, and it makes the storyline with Hangman Page that much more interesting going into Double or Nothing this weekend. We now have some truly major news regarding John Cena's status in WWE, and it seems as though the 16-time world champion could be returning to WWE in the very near future. Now, John Cena was last seen in WWE at SummerSlam 2021, where Cena was defeated by the head of the table, Roman Reigns. And while some fans were expecting to see a bit more of John Cena in WWE following SummerSlam, with Cena even being advertised for a SmackDown show after the pay-per-view, unfortunately John Cena was gone from WWE after his loss to Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. And since then, many fans have been patiently waiting on any news regarding when we can expect to see John Cena back in WWE. It is clear that lots of fans are missing John Cena, and now that we are getting into the initial build-up for SummerSlam 2022, this definitely provides a perfect opportunity for John Cena to make yet another comeback, and with the news going around right now, that could very well be happening. For those of you unaware, John Cena has recently teased returning to WWE for his 20th anniversary in the company, which is fast approaching, and according to a new behind-the-scenes rumor, Vince McMahon is wanting for John Cena to soon return to WWE for a storyline with the current United States Champion Theory going into SummerSlam this year. If these rumors are true, it definitely does make sense, seeing as though Theory and John Cena have went back and forth on social media pretty recently, and Theory has made it publicly clear that he wants to face off against one of his idols, John Cena, at SummerSlam this year. And apparently, if John Cena does return this year going into SummerSlam, John Cena could be winning the United States Championship from Theory immediately after returning, before inevitably putting over the future star Theory at SummerSlam and losing the US Championship back to Theory. And without question, this sounds like a very interesting storyline and a great way to build even more momentum for Theory by working with one of the all-time greats, John Cena.